Hi guys, this is Jake and Bandit, my happy dog. Today we've got another Ganzo for you. We haven't done a Ganzo for a while, and this is the G726M, a knife that's been out for quite a long time, and I thought I did a review, but I hadn't done a review of this yet. Just over 3-inch blade. Make sure I let you guys know that from the beginning. G10 handle scales. It's a cool little knife, I think. So if you like to know about all things Ganzo, you're going to want to know about this knife. It comes in green, black, and orange with a satin blade, 440C steel. So if any of that has got you interested, stick around for the full review. Right, Bandit? Right. So this Ganzo comes with a satin blade, and that's the only way that it comes. The G726M, typical 440C steel that Ganzo does. This guy does not have the Firebird branding on it. It's before that day. I don't know if they're going to produce it with Firebird branding or not, or if they already do. I got this guy, almost a year ago, and I've had it, and just like some other knives, I was sure that I had done a review of it, but I hadn't. So it's been in my collection, and I'd take it out every once in a while and use it and stuff. So now we're doing the review. I've sharpened it one time. I'm pretty sure it was just once, and I've stropped it probably 10 times or so. And I've tried to get it back to very close to what the original sharpness was. That's going to be hard to tell. But I've got dozens and dozens of Ganzo reviews using 440C steel. If you've watched any of them, you know how the 440C steel responds. And, so you really don't need me to get this knife in factory condition to show you. So there we go. Look at that. Well, need to give it a little more paper. It does okay. Not bad. And it's, a good enough steel that it can, do a little bit of wood kind of cutting if you need it to. Of course, I'm just taking off a tiny bit at a time right here. I could be doing much more aggressive work, but I'm just showing you that you can get some pretty good control out of this blade. It's a decent blade for, just about cutting anything that you want. I know I don't usually do the cut test at the beginning, but yeah, I thought I would do that today. Here's a couple pieces of paracord. See how it just zips right through that. And then if I can show you some slicing, it slices through this paracord very easily. As long as I'm watching what I'm doing. I was looking away when I was doing that. Not very smart, Jake. There we go. Let's try that again. Yep. Easy squeezy, cutting through the paracord. This is 550 paracord with 9 strands inside. Regular copy paper. Pretty good. Not great right now. It probably needs another stropping soon. And since I don't have a factory edge, I just can't show that to you. And it's a good steel. 440C. It's one of the better budget steels out there. I like it a lot. And Ganzo's been using it for a while. 58 Rockwell hardness or so, maybe between 56 and 58. And, it's decent. It's a saber grind or a high flat grind, whatever you want to call it. Drop point blade with a swedge, thumb riser with jimping, sharpener's choil right there, belly in a fairly long flat area, over 2 inches of it, or around 2 inches of it. G-lock, that they call an axis lock. Open pillar construction, sort of hourglass shape with some steps in it. I'll show you a close-up of that. Lanyard hole. Liners that are not skeletonized. And a really cool pattern in the G10 right here. Out of all the Ganzo knives, this one gives you the best grip. Maybe not the best, but it's really in the short list of the best grip knives that they have. And you can really get a good hold of this guy. partly because of the great big finger choil right here, and because of all this texture they have along the sides of the handle, and this jimping that they've got up here, and then on both sides of the end of the handle. So you can grip this knife any which way that you want, and no matter how you grip it, it's got lots of good purchase to it. Let's talk about the dimensions of everything that we've got on this knife. Cutting edge, 8.25 centimeters, which is 3 1/4 inches. The blade thickness is 2.8 millimeters, which is 0.111 inches. The thickness of the steel behind the grind, so right after that final grind, we've got 0.57 millimeters, which is 0.024 inches. So it's a little bit thicker than my target of having 0.5 millimeter thick back there. 0.5 millimeter thick is about the ideal EDC thickness. If you get too thick, it's hard to cut through things. If you get too thin, the edge gets a little weak. The grip area on this knife, from this point to this point, is 9.2 centimeters, which is 3.6 inches. The handle thickness is 1.5 centimeters, not counting the pocket clip, which is 0.59 inches. My mouth isn't working today. Which is 0.59 inches. And the overall length of this knife is 7.5 inches. The weight of this knife is 121 grams, which is 4.3 ounces. So it didn't really need the skeletonizing anyways, but if it had it, it would be even lighter and even more attractive to a lot of folks. This knife has got 2 phosphor bronze washers in it for this pivot. And that's what helps this pivot to work quite well. And you can make it open and close just by using the axis lock. If you get the right twist, it's really hard to do underneath this apparatus right here. Just using the axis lock, you can get it to open and close. Oh, I'm going to be hitting all kinds of stuff trying to show you. And you can't even really see that because it happens so quick, but just pulling back on the axis lock at the right time to release the tension on the blade, and it slides, and then you let go of the axis lock, and then it holds it tight, and then you swing it closed. There you go. Not every example that comes out of a factory is perfect. I've been very fortunate that almost all of the ones that I've had have been just great, and I've just, by chance, had every Ganzo axis lock work wonderfully for me. Oh, I need to calm down. I was going to start to rant. I just get so sick and tired of the guys that just start going on and on about how terrible Ganzo's axis lock is. I was a Ganzo fan. I still am a Ganzo fan, and I was getting lots of knives from them at their cost to review. And, that's past now. I pay for the knives that I get. This is one of the knives that I bought way back before I ever had a relationship with Ganzo. I checked my records. And, so this is a knife that I bought and that I'm reviewing. I like it. The axis lock works very well. There's not a problem with it the way some people think that the axis lock is inherently bad. I have noticed that some of the very early axis locks that I got from Ganzo, down in the very low 700 series, 70 something, some of those have had axis locks where the arm, this rod that comes over, doesn't come up as deeply as I would like. But none of them have failed a spine whack test where I took a piece of wood and I whacked on the back of this knife, holding it very securely in a safe way like this so that it could close without hitting a finger. But I've never had one close, and I've whacked hard on the spine of these things. Really hard. So you can go ahead and complain in the comment section below that the Ganzo's axis locks are really weak and not good. I'm just here to say I don't believe you. My life experience with many, many dozens and upon dozens of Ganzo axis lock knives, none of them have shown a hint of a problem. This knife adjusts on this pivot with screws on both sides. So sometimes it can be a little tricky if you've taken the knife apart, to get it to readjust to be straight, like when you go to check the alignment. I've got the alignment right here very good, and it works well, opens and closes well, and just ever so slight blade play side to side when I get it to be have smooth action. I can make it have no blade play slide to slide, side to side, but then, it doesn't have as good action to open and close the knife. So what are the unique features of this knife? Well, nothing's really unique about this knife. It's, a good knife. The handle's quite grippy, as I mentioned already. What are the pros and the cons on this knife? The pros, really deep index finger choil, right here. I really like that an awful lot. If you're using this and you end up stabbing something that is solid, your hand's not likely to go sliding over because you've got a good grip. Your thumb's got a good grip on this jimping here, and your index finger's got a really good grip in there. So, it's just very unlikely. It's small enough to easily take around as an EDC knife. Having a 3 1/4 inch blade here, that's really good. The sharpener's choil of sorts that's at the front here, that's really good. I like that. So when you go to sharpen the knife, it doesn't leave a mess as you're getting up to the ricasso there. A lot of economical knives have proprietary screws and stuff. This Ganzo, like most of them, is all Torx construction. That's really good. How about the cons? The one big con that I want to mention here is this pocket clip. On some knives, this pocket clip is really nice. This is one of the old style pocket clips that Ganzo has. And I call this their phallic pocket clip. And that point right there at the tip, the way it sticks out right there, it tends to grab and stick into the hand wherever you're holding it. If I'm holding it in my left hand, my index finger gets it right there, and I end up getting a little bit of pain right there. I have to consciously move my hand up and get my index finger in front of that spot, and then I'm okay. But if I just grab it and hold it, very often my index finger lands right on that. I don't really like that. I wish they could have taken this pocket clip and put it closer to the end, because I'd also have deeper carry with it that way instead of the way it is now. I'll show you. Right now, you've got about 2/3 of an inch sticking out, 1.25 inches, a centimeter and a quarter, almost 1.5 centimeters of the knife sticking out. It's not that bad, but I'd like it to be even deeper carry. Most of you prefer tip up, and that's a good thing. This guy is tip up, but it's right side only. Unlike a lot of later Ganzo knives, you've got left and right. And many of their knives, you've got 4-way pocket clips. But this guy's just got tip up, right side, and it's not the most comfortable. Unfortunately, their hole pattern for these 3 holes, none of their other pocket clips that also have 3 holes will match up with that pattern exactly. So you're stuck with this pocket clip, or you take the pocket clip off and use this knife with a hip pouch. I often have pouches on my belt, and I carry my knives that way. And this knife I've often carried that way as well. And no skeletonizing in the liners. So long story short, I like this Ganzo. It has a couple shortcomings, but all in all, it's a very good knife. It's only $10.48 US from GearBest. In Canadian dollars, it's $14.44. It's just expensive to ship one knife from China to the Netherlands or to England, and then or contact a warehouse there and have them ship it to Canada. It's just amazing how economically they can ship this knife, because I can't ship this knife across Canada for the cost that it is to buy it from GearBest. It's cheaper for me to buy this from GearBest than it is for me to mail this to a friend in Ontario. It's just unbelievable. So I don't complain about the $2 charge for shipping from GearBest. I really like GearBest an awful lot. They've got the best customer service of any of the Chinese online stores out there, and I've had experience with loads of them. Their customer service isn't perfect. It's sometimes slow, and it is Chinese customer service. It's not Western style customer service, but they are the best of the Chinese stores that are online, in my opinion and experience. I've had a lot of experience. So thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please click on like, even if you don't like the knife. If you think I did a good job reviewing and showing what this knife's about, thank you for clicking like. Thank you for sharing it with somebody who you think might be interested in this, and for commenting. Thank you for commenting. I like the comment section because I get to interact with you guys. Remember, subscribe, hit that bell so you'll be notified of every video, and then cut towards your chum, not your thumb.